Welcome to the Night Shift Court podcast. I'm Pidge.
And I'm Moen.
We are two shift-working fantasy book lovers and love nothing more than leaving reality behind for a bookish adventure.
Join us as we go under the mountain to discuss our favourite fantasy fiction tales and the authors behind them. Come with us to explore the stories, one shift at a time.
Hi, ladies.
Hey! Mug.
Thank you.
It has to be somber because this part of the book stresses me out.
Yes. I will be thoroughly glad when we get through these last episode and this episode.
We need the palate cleanser.
We do.
Speaking of palate cleansers,
Yeah.
we'd like to dedicate this episode to bubbly, specifically the raspberry flavour because it's freaking delicious. And I do love the fact that it says "G'day" on the top. But
Oh,
just
how very Australian.
Listen to this. Oh, is there a fucking better sound than that?
I don't like the sound of a can opening because it reminds me of alcohol.
Oh, yeah. But we don't drink.
No, we
We're not
don't.
very big drinkers.
No.
Actually, at all.
No.
We don't need it, clearly. Can you imagine if we did this drunk? No, it's just not. It's not for us.
I feel like I'm funner not drunk, right?
Same.
Because I just get very tired very quickly.
Yeah.
Apart from my allergic reaction, which would send me to hospital and be dead.
Yes,
I
there
get
is
very
that.
tired very quickly.
No wonder you love me. I'm your security blanket.
You are
Oh,
indeed.
yes, your paramedic safety net.
And my EpiPen.
And your EpiPen. Yeah, specifically your EpiPen.
Yes. But you would, how would you love to stab me?
Oh,
Would that not be the best thing that's ever happened to you?
it really
To have
would.
to stab me with an EpiPen.
It would bring me so much joy. Other than the fact that you're having an anaphylaxis, it would bring me joy to stab you.
We would laugh about it later.
Oh, yeah. Imagine if I fucked it up and I stabbed my thumb.
Oh, no, it's orange to the thigh, blue to the sky.
Oh, I know that, but I'm not used to EpiPens. I just give the actual drug.
Oh, okay. Well, anyone
So-
out there who has an EpiPen, remember, the rule is orange to the thigh, blue to the sky.
Here's your hot tips from the Night Shift Court.
On
We
how to
can-
administer your EpiPen.
Yeah, we can save your life and we can dissect a book.
Two of the most unrelated things in the universe.
Absolutely.
Here we are. Right, now this is episode 41, which is chapters 76 to 80. We're
Second
almost
to
there.
last. Yes,
Yeah.
we've got this and we've got one more for this book and then we have onto the
Christmas special
onto
at
the
Christmas
controversial.
time.
Yes, it is Christmas time.
Are you feeling festive?
Look, people are very mixed about Frost and Starlight, aren't they?
Yeah.
A lot of people that are still reading ACOWAR for the first time can't relate, honestly. Where have you been?
Yeah.
But also, welcome. They really do ask a lot in the Facebook group chats, do I have to read Frost and Starlight? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. I don't care if you don't like a Christmas special.
After this, after the
need it.
war, you need it.
You do. You need the palate cleanser. You need the little quick to read novella. Just get it done. It sets up the next one
Beautifully.
and you need to read it. So don't skip it.
Now, last we left off, our dearly departed Amren, may she rest in peace.
She's faded away.
She's faded away.
Yep.
Honestly, she is like me by midnight.
Yes, you turn
Fading
into
away.
a pumpkin. Yeah, you are
Fading away.
shadows. Blessed be the fruit and good night, and you are the fuck out of work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
When I have 6 hours to go.
I am no good after midnight.
No, me either, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I have to be there because that's my job.
Yeah. Fair. Now, Feyre looks to the three pieces of the cauldron and she takes a step to leave with Varian before she starts to feel the cauldron's essence leaking into the world.
God, honestly, everything about these few chapters makes me stressed. Everything.
Yeah.
She looks to the ruins of the cauldron and sees like a void or a growth.
Yes.
And the fissure inside the cauldron is growing and it's going to destroy everything, basically. Reese tells Feyre that she actually needs to reforge the cauldron to make it anew, because this is the way to contain whatever is seeping out of it.
How frustrated would you be, though,
You
if for the
finally
last 3 fucking books you've been trying to destroy the cauldron, you did it and were like, whoops.
Yeah, and they didn't fucking make it again. Oh, my God.
That was not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you unleashed Amren and, you know, that the army is defeated, but, like, could you have just left it whole?
Yeah.
You know, and just wielded its power instead? Probably. But how mad would you be?
Did she mean to break it?
Well, Amren technically broke it.
Yes. Amren
If we're going to
didn't tell
blame
them.
anyone, let's blame someone who's dead and can't defend
Absolutely.
themselves.
I wish Amren had said what they do afterwards.
Yeah.
But anyway, Feyre's like, look, dude, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I don't have any fucking power left.
Yeah.
I'm spent.
Look at me.
I am ruined. And Reese is like, oh, you can just use mine. Fabulous.
Okay.
So she takes his hand and channels his power and she grabs the cauldron and she uses the spell that Amren gave her and with Reese's power, it begins to reforge. Fabulous. So it's being welded and bind and it's doing all the things. She keeps requiring more and more of Reese. So she's siphoning and he is just obviously letting her have what she needs. And he tells her he loves her.
Yes.
So she's
Again
healing.
and again and again, he starts chanting it to her.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is a fucking alarm bell.
Red flag for me.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Mate or cauldron, it's got to be one of the two. But she's like, you know, obviously very focused and she's healing this cauldron and she can feel his power sputtering.
Yes.
Like a shitty Ford. A
I thought
shitty
you were
old
going to
Ford.
be like a pot of boiling soup.
We've discussed soup.
I know, I do like soup.
We've discussed soup belly. Yes. Bread and soup. We might have to call this podcast the night shift soup.
Well, it is good to have soup on night
We
shift.
do quite often have chicken and corn.
We do.
Yes, it's
Anyway.
delicious.
Right, so Reese is dead.
He's that escalated quickly. I was trying to do it quite nicely, but anyway.
D-E-A-D.
Yes. She turns around and he's sprawled.
Yeah.
We knew this was coming, right?
No, I didn't. Not the first time.
Not the first time?
Obviously the second. I'm not Elaine. I'm not that dumb.
Oh, good. I am glad that you remembered how the book went the second time you read it.
Finished.
Obviously, Feyre knows that people can be brought back from the dead because she's one of them.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Feyre is like, yeah, I knew he was dying, but I had to kind of do what I needed to do, and I knew he was saying goodbye to me. And then she's like, oi, you all, you useless pricks. You haven't done anything since you healed me
Yeah.
2 books ago.
Let me clarify what she screams at them is, give me your fucking seed. And I'm not even kidding. It's described as a light seed.
Look.
Give it all 8 of you. Is there 8? Oh. Feyre, that is inappropriate
That's
while your
another
mate is
book.
dead on the ground.
That's another book. That's that's the AO3 reverse harem and fiction. Give me your seed. Copyright.
Right, now I just want to make a point that they try to explain, you know, she's like bringing him back and sobbing, which is all very sad. And then they try to explain, I'm not very sad because I know what happens and I can compartmentalize that this is a story. So she tries to encourage them, you know, as you would. And they're like, oh, no, it's different bringing back a fae. Surely it's easier. You brought back a dead human.
Yeah.
You've brought back an eyeball and a finger bone. Surely bringing back an entire person is a lot of... He's already got the bits.
Yeah. But he is a High Lord though.
Yeah, but...
So he's missing from the goodie.
I honestly...
His seed. But it's in him.
Is it?
Anywho, so Tarquin, your your mate Tarquin.
The dum-dum.
He
of the
goes
High Lords.
first.
He does.
He's not that bad.
He's easily encouraged.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, and Thiessen explains to Feyre how to do it herself. So she acts as the Reese.
Well, she's the high lady.
She's the
of
high lady,
Night
so
Court.
she needs to do her bit. So Feyre's like, Tamlin, look at me.
Look at me.
She's
Look at me. Look at
look at
me.
me. She's begging him now that he has to partake. And she says, I'll give you anything. And I'm like, ooh.
Oh, don't say that to my insides are rotting.
But he's the bigger man.
This is, yeah.
He says, be happy, Feyre. And he drops the last
Light seed.
into old Reesekins.
Yep.
And Feyre's holding Reese and she tells him how she fell in love with him.
My notes for this section was Feyre tells him her story, but we already know it as we've read the book.
Exactly. Like we know all the things. I kind of feel like at the end of the Twilight movies that like when Bella drops her shield to let Edward in.
Oh, yes.
And there's that montage of their
Yes.
life. And
Yeah.
he's like, because he can't read her, right? Because she's a
Correct.
shield the whole
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's this.
Yeah.
So this is the montage.
This is the Twilight section.
Every day
Yes.
waiting for you. So
Yes. I agree.
if you are listening and you're a producer and you would like to hire me to sing that ditty when you do film this section, I'll happily drop what I'm doing that day to
do so.
do so.
Cute.
Yes.
I'll just come for the sake of
can come
being there.
to pat me on my back.
Yeah.
So
Now,
yes.
I'm so glad that Sarah didn't make us wait. She could have ended the book right here.
She could have.
And I reckon the thoughts in the back of her head
I reckon the editor
said, do it.
yeah.
Do
I
it.
reckon you need to tie this up, bitch.
And honestly, Amren was given a gift coming to that world.
Yes.
Feyre's been gifted many things. Sarah has gifted us the Sarah-tonin of not finishing this fucking book here.
Sarah-tonin.
Yes.
Love it.
Of not finishing the book here.
Yeah. Look,
Thank you, Sarah. Honestly,
she's done us a solid.
what a true trooper you are.
So Reese makes a miraculous recovery.
Doesn't he?
And then he makes a joke. And he tells the High Lords they'll be happy to know his power remains his own and he didn't gain any of theirs.
Well, he was like, oh, there's no thieving here. And I was like, Feyre's offended. She's like, I didn't fucking take it either.
I didn't mean to. But it does make me wonder why he hasn't received any of their power. So anyway, we don't really know anything more about
I
that.
have a theory.
Oh.
Okay, you
Okay,
ready?
yes, I am.
So-
Always.
Reese says, and there's another surprise. And he pulls dear sloppy Amren out of the fixed cauldron.
I do love this.
So here's my theory.
Right.
Two. Actually, first.
Okay.
This moment to me proves what I have always known about Sarah via her interviews. And that is that she's a fan of happy endings.
Yes.
In the book sense.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know about her sex life.
She might like that too.
Yeah. So this moment to me proves that she cannot let us not have a happy ending for
Yeah.
each of her characters, which gives me hope for more Cassian, Asriel, Elaine.
Someone's dying.
Tamlin specifically. Tamlin, no, I don't think so.
I do. Someone's dying.
I think it's someone like Daddy Archeron who is not involved very much and who no one has any emotional attachment to. Those characters, absolutely, into the underworld they
Yeah.
go. But the characters that we know,
Yeah.
it proves to me that she can't not let them have a happy ending. So
Yeah.
back to my theory on the power.
Right.
If Reese has come back and he's also brought Amren with him, which she describes that he reached out his hand to her and grabbed her in the ether. I think Amren's got them.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah.
Because Reese has got his own. He doesn't need any more.
Why would he? Where would they go? Do you know what I mean?
That's
like
right.
where else would they? Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I do think, just talking about, Sarah. So I think this is the main difference between this writing style of Sarah versus someone like Rebecca Yarros, who does not care to kill off characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like
she's brutal.
She is brutal and
Yeah.
she kills off loved characters.
Yeah.
And it just cuts your heart from your chest.
Yes.
I do think that we're not going to get through this series without being devastated by someone, because we've had it good up until this point, right?
Yeah, we have, yes.
We don't care about Daddy.
No.
And, we took pleasure in Ianthe's death. Claire Better, we didn't know.
No, that's right. So you didn't know.
Yep.
Daddy Artron didn't really know, / was a flap anyway. Amarantha was a flap anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Baron, dead.
Yes.
Couldn't care if he died.
Correct.
Who else?
But if we lose someone, I don't think it'll be like inner circle wise. I don't.
No.
I think if she's gone to the trouble of saving Amren now, Amren's going to be maybe just like not dead, but released. Like out.
Do you know who I think will die?
Tell me.
Madja.
Oh, okay, fine, sure.
She's oldest as the hills.
I actually think it's going to be Lucian.
You reckon?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it will be him.
Okay. Anyway, let's not talk about people dying because it makes me upset.
Okay. We're different people.
Yes. Now.
Right. Now they go back to the area where
The war camp?
No, the clearing where Nestor and Cassian almost died and the king did
yes.
die and the father's
And the
body
father's
is there. Yeah.
dead. Okay.
Yeah, laying on the ground dead.
Yes.
So Feyre returns to the clearing to bury her father with her sisters. They approach together and see the King of Hyburn's body first being picked apart by crows. Delicious.
Love that.
Yeah. Nestor spits on him as they walk past. Honestly, it's the most unladylike thing she's ever done, and she's come a long way from never wearing pants.
Yes, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Spitting on someone is
The ultimate insult.
The ultimate insult.
Isn't it?
So in Greece, I had an argument with a car parking attendant.
Okay.
Because we went to this little town and it's like a valet car park because it's just a fucking shit show, right? So they park your car for you.
Yeah.
We could have gone 200 metres around the corner and parked at a municipal car park and we would not have had an issue.
Yeah.
But we fucking didn't check Google reviews. So we got into this car park and they're like, yep, cool, give me your keys. So we're like, cool. The first instance dealing with them was fine. So we're like, yes, here's your keys. There was a nice man. He parked the car, all the things. We didn't see where he parked the car.
Yeah.
We go back.
You often don't
You
because
don't.
it's valet. That's the whole point, yeah.
You go back a couple of hours later and we're like, where's the keys? And they're like, the key's in the car. And we're like, oh, that's weird. Why would
You're
the key
supposed
be
to
in
bring
the
it
car?
to me, yeah.
I gave it to you in the office.
Yeah.
Why would the key be in the car?
Yeah.
So we get to the car. They've left the key in the ignition, which has drained the fucking battery.
Oh.
And the car doesn't start. And not only that, I'll show you the photo later because on the back of our car in Greece, there's the wheel is on the back, it's a RAV4. So there's a wheel on the back with a metal wheel cover.
Yep.
They have parked the wheel cover hard up against the rock, right?
Brilliant.
It's up against it, but it didn't scratch it. But
Okay.
I was losing my mind to this woman who apparently owns the car park. And as we find, they had called the equivalent of RACT to come and jump the car. We had waited in the scorching hot sun with our 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Not a good vibe.
No.
20 minutes later, we decided we'd try the car again, and somehow miraculously the car has started. So we're like putting our shit in the car and we're getting out of there. And at the end of it, I hung out of the car and I called her what is the equivalent of spitting on someone in Greek.
Oh.
And it's the word donkey.
Okay.
But in Greek, if you call someone that, it's like quite, if you
Quite
call
an
insult. Woman that, it's like quite the insult.
Okay, right.
And Simon was like,
You're channeling your inner Nesta.
What was like, because he did not say a thing because
Okay.
I was like fully ranting in Greek to these people
course.
about they
He's
were
like,
folded.
I cannot keep up.
I was losing my shit anyway, so I hung out the window and there was this high-rise building, like apartment building with people watching from their balconies,
course,
and it was so funny.
The
in
old
the
Greek
end of it.
nanas, yeah.
But anyway, that is my equivalent of Nesta spitting on the King of Highburn's body is me yelling out my window in Greece to this stupid woman who was an absolute
Absolute flat.
yeah.
Now, the body.
Side note.
They turn into the morticians of Perinthian.
I was going to say Westeros. Wrong series.
They wash him and they straighten his clothes, and Elaine finds some flowers to lay around him, which is honestly the most effort apart from killing the king that she's ever done.
We do have to lay some credit on Elaine now.
Yeah, little bit.
Come on.
Little bit. We're 4 books in and this is the first thing she's ever done.
Yes.
Now, Feyre uses her magic to burn him afterwards. They cremate the dead, which is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. Lucian arrives now. So we've heard naught from him in the last few chapters.
Yes.
He looks directly to Elaine and says, "Are you hurt?" And she says, "Oh, I'm fine." And she asks if he is okay too, which is probably the first thing she's ever said to him.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes.
And he's like, "Well, I never want to fight in another battle as long as I live. But yes, I'm in one piece." And I thought, are you though? Because your eyeball isn't still.
Yeah, yes.
Like you're technically 2 pieces.
That's correct. Where's your eyeball, Daddy?
If you're technically 2, you're not 1 piece, you're 2 you're the equivalent of 2 pieces and have been for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
So don't tell me you're in 1 piece because you're not. You're in 2.
Maybe he just doesn't even think about his missing eye anymore.
Maybe not, but still. So Feyre steps forward and hugs him because clearly Elaine isn't going to, honestly. Lucian explains that Vassar's release was negotiated by their father and that Vassar is on one about killing the other human queens. Great. However, her release is only temporary, right? Their father has negotiated. Question for you. What do we think her father negotiated for to get Vassar?
I think he's got some stash of relics.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know, but I think he's got some stash of relics.
May I raise mine?
Yes, of course.
Did he bargain his own death?
Perhaps.
Did he come to the battle knowing that he wouldn't survive?
I think yes.
Do you think it'll be linked to Elaine and her book?
Dunno. Yes, maybe.
Is it related to Carshay's curse to being stuck in the middle?
Look, feasible.
And are the sisters somehow descendants of the Fae warrior that tricked him in the first place and he means to break their curse?
I don't find that hard to believe at all. There's something weird about the fact that 3 human sisters are mated to 3 powerful Fae. Mm-hmm. And it's not just because they turn Fae, because we know that Feyre and Rhys were mates prior to Feyre changing into a Fae.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and like Cassian and Nesta had banter before they were chucked in the cauldron. So you can't just, that's not cool. There has to be something more is what I'm saying. So yes.
I think it's linked to Carshay.
Yeah.
Because he was the only one who didn't turn up to the battle out of the 3 siblings.
Yes.
You remember? 2 of them died. He's the last one.
Yeah.
And he's somehow bound to the middle, but no one decided to go and ask him.
Yeah, he was just left out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's linked to him because he's the last remaining of the 3.
Yeah.
And also that it potentially has to do, we've talked before previously, because the only information that we have about his curse is that a crafty Fae warrior tricked him into something which ended up being bound to the middle.
Yeah.
So I think they're somehow related. And in order to break that curse, it requires the blood of a descendant or the death of a descendant. Because you remember that the carver carves death.
Yes.
The weaver eats death.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's related somehow.
I think that's a very solid theory. Oof.
So again, Lucian and Elaine aren't going to touch each other. So Feyre links arms with him and they start to walk away. Elaine follows, but Nesta stays in the clearing. And Feyre asks Lucian, well, what now? Like, what are you going to do with yourself now? And he says that he'll stay here to help out. And then she like nudges Elaine like with her arm. And she's like, oh, you could come to Valaris. And he says, it would be my pleasure.
I just don't like it. I don't like them.
I do like them. But more importantly than them, they get back to the camp and Feyre leaves them to chat. And she strides through the flaps and sees Rhys, Draken and Miriam all smiling at her.
This is great. So we finally get introduced to these two. We've heard so much about them and we've not been able to have the moment to actually talk to them because it's been quite busy at the battle. Yes. Quite. So Draken and Miriam fought with Durian but more convinced them not to kill him. So she's explained about Durian being the double agent, so to speak. Feyre... So they have this chat and so Feyre's asking if they can hide the cauldron in Cretea. And they agree. I'd be like, fuck that.
No.
Not in my paradise, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it and put it somewhere else.
Yeah. I think that's a dumb move. But anyway, we don't know who's going to be searching for it
But
now.
also, they went to Cretea because of Amarantha and the king. And now that that's all done, are they still going to hide there?
Well, that's a good point. But then probably not. They've probably made their home there, right? It's been 300 years. Like that's where they belong now.
Yeah.
So they're safe. They belong. It's their home, essentially. Yeah. So I get it, but I wouldn't be taking the cauldron back if it was me.
No.
So they have this big meeting now, the High Lords, the princes, the humans, the Fae, and Feyre finally gets to meet Nefel.
Yes. You'll
remember this is the legendary warrior that Asriel had
the gift story.
Gift story, yes. Yep. So I think it's quite lovely that they've all, put everyone's face to a name now.
Yeah.
So she also meets Vassa, who tells her their father was a great man and she will owe him as long as she is alive.
Yeah, I found the interaction with Vassa very interesting because she comes storming up to Feyre and she's like, are you Feyre Cursebreaker? And Feyre's like, steady on, but yes. And she basically says, can you break my curse? And Feyre's like, well, look, I'm not really sure. I don't know you. Like, just now you're coming in my face.
Hello. Boop. Just now you're coming up to Feyre.
Feyre asks Vassa the name of her master, but she doesn't answer. Interesting. I reckon there's more to that story. I'm sure of it.
Absolutely.
And Lucian's like, oh, yes, it's a very nasty curse. And I'm thinking, is it though?
Yeah.
A firebird by day, human by night. I would be loving myself sick.
What seems to be the problem?
Yeah, honestly.
I can't. Sorry. Please explain to me.
Whinging for the sake of whinging.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is it painful?
No.
Yeah.
You're a firebird.
So
like, honestly, you're the queen.
Yes.
Amazing.
Shush. Shush, Vassa.
Yeah, shush, Vassa. Shush, shush, shush. So, bit tense, that meeting. But anyway, Nesta goes to leave and Feyre asks her to stay to help with the meeting. And they walk forward. They try and negotiate the treaty. There's lots of talking at this point. It's all very boring.
Very boring.
So
the only
boring.
thing more boring than a battle is the meeting after the battle to discuss the further tactics.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, and the only thing more boring than that is Elaine watching Grayson disappear into the forest and he doesn't even look at her and she's still wearing his engagement ring. And honestly, it's just embarrassing.
Take that shitty iron off your finger and realise the deliciousness around you.
Yeah.
Seriously. She's described as being the most beautiful one there.
No, Nesta's the most beautiful.
Yes, but she's the loveliest.
Yes, she is the most kind of heart.
Oh, for fuck's sake, honestly.
So Jurian now approaches Feyre and he tells her that Vassa has offered him a place in her court and he plans to accept. And I love that Jurian has a story to continue.
Yeah.
Like I love that he didn't die in the
Same.
war after everything. I love that he saved a lot of people.
Yeah.
And also that he's got somewhere to go and something to do now.
Do you think that him and Vassa are a thing?
I don't know.
Well, we don't hear anything more about the
Briar?
Briar.
No, we don't.
No.
Not until my book is released.
Yes. AO3, here we come.
So they pack up the camp and they winnow back to Valaris now. And Feyre says that it looks the same, but perhaps they are not. And for anybody out there, that is called PTSD.
Yes.
Where the entire thing looks the same, but not to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's called PTSD.
And we have it.
Yes. Amren mutters, oh, well, I suppose I'll have to eat real food now. And Cassian's like, a monumental sacrifice. And Amren is basically like, shut up, I saved you. I do what I want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I wonder what she is going to eat though.
Normal food.
Yes, but like what though? Is she going to try blood and see what it tastes like to her like untamed mouth?
Untamed mouth.
Is she going to eat a full pineapple? Is she going to
I
chew
doubt
on
her and
parsley?
I doubt her and Varian are trying to conceive a child.
Well, you never know.
Oh, actually, so while we're on the topic, old wives' tales.
Yes.
I want to hear them.
Oh,
I want to know.
From everyone.
Yes. I want your best old wives' tales.
Oh, okay.
Tell me.
In the comments. Thank you.
Yeah. Old wives' tales. I love to follow the tradition and
Yeah.
see what happens.
And watch the ridiculousness unfold.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Now, Feyre has written a little note, a lot easier than any other note she's probably ever written because, let's be honest, she's only just learned.
True.
But she wrote a note to Tamlin, gave it to Lucian to give to Tamlin, and it says, "Thank you. I hope you find happiness too." Honestly, why bother?
I didn't like that.
I didn't like
I
that
just
either.
feel like that was implied. The thank you was implied.
Like he's done enough. This was his redemption.
Yeah.
There's no thank you necessary.
Yeah, he did. And let's not forget, he's been a bit of a douche. He owed you that. People that owe you shit don't really need a thanks.
Correct.
Just leave it. Feyre.
Now, Nesta leaves to go up to her room. She's barely eaten, barely spoken. She's got some PTSD to deal with. So off into her room she goes.
With her shower installed.
Correct. She'd be dirty after that battle.
Filthy.
Especially after cutting off someone's head, you would be
Putrid.
covered.
Yeah.
Covered.
Yeah.
So Elaine and Feyre head into the sitting room where more Cassian and Asriel are. And Elaine says, I would like to build a garden. After all of this, I think the world needs more gardens. Seriously. Not housing, not food, not water, not their loved ones back, not money, but just a garden. Thank you for a beautiful shift. That's it for this episode of the Night Shift Court podcast. Join us again next week where we will continue the adventure of ACOWAR's Book 3, A Court of Wings and Ruin.
Whichever platform you're listening on, we would so appreciate a 5-star review. You can follow us at The Night Shift Court on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok.
I hope the night is kind.